Hi, so you are a manager of people, which means you're a leader. And you hear all this stuff about how you're supposed to be an authentic leader. And if you're like most people, like a lot of my clients and students, you might find yourself wondering just what does that even mean? Because you're not up for letting it all hang out, and nor should you be. And you're really not interested in being completely open about all your personal stuff. Okay, that's not what authentic leadership is. And in this video, I'm going to go over some of the key aspects of what it really is, so you'll have some reference points for how to become a more authentic leader yourself. And that will make you a better, stronger, and more trusted leader for your team. Yay, right? So, who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm Grace Judson. I was in corporate senior leadership for 16 years before going out on my own as a leadership geek, coach, consultant, and trainer. I've been doing that for a lot of years now, and it's wonderful to see how my clients and students develop confidence in their own individual, unique leadership abilities. There's a lot of information, resources for leadership and leadership development on my website. The link is down below in the video description. Okay, back to authentic leadership. If it's not being vulnerable about your personal life and how you feel about life and work on a day-to-day basis, then just what is it really? What does authenticity mean anyhow, especially as it pertains to leadership? Good question. There are 4 basic aspects to authentic leadership, and I'm going to go over each one of them. And I want to make the point that they're not in any order because they are all equally important and relevant. So I'm going to start then with consistency. An authentic leader walks their talk. They don't project a do what I say, not what I do kind of vibe. Their values are enacted, not just claimed. What does that mean? It means that if they say they value, for instance, integrity, they act in a way consistent with honesty, truthfulness, and a sense of personal honor. Consistency also has to do with sort of a steady sense of who someone is. Every manager has to play multiple roles, let's face it, sometimes too many, and sometimes has to take actions that their teams may not either understand or may not like. But there's still a sense of what I would call a felt sense of a solid foundation underlying who they are. How does that show up? Well, it could be by how they communicate about their actions. They're honest, they're forthright, they're not judgmental or evasive. The next quality of authentic leadership is trustworthiness. You know you can rely on them to be upfront, to be honest and forthright about what's happening and potentially what's going to happen. And you know that if they tell you, I can't tell you that right now, but I will as soon as I can, that you can believe them. We do need to remember that managers, you as the manager and leader, you can't always share everything with your team. Some things need to remain confidential until a particular point in time. But as an authentic leader, your people can trust that you'll tell them what you can when you can. And they trust you to act with fairness and to acknowledge your mistakes. Okay. Next on my list, and remember these are not in any particular order, is individuality. And that one might surprise you a little bit. Many managers, especially when they're first starting out, try to act like other managers and leaders whose way of leading they admire. And that's terrific. Nothing wrong with that because we need to learn from everyone we can. But then we also need to understand that what works for one person may not work for who you are. So absolutely yes, learn all you can about management and leadership, but don't fall into the trap that if something doesn't work for you, you're somehow wrong. Instead, take that thing, tweak it, modify it, tune it so it fits who you are. Because you are an individual, and in the end, as a friend of mine often says, we are all an experiment of one. That individuality matters, and understanding yourself from that perspective matters. Okay, finally, kind of what I just alluded to, right? We have self-knowledge. And I know I said at the beginning that these 4 aspects of authentic leadership aren't really in any order of importance, but I will say this. Without self-knowledge, the others won't work. The others can't happen. If we don't know who we are, we can't be consistent in our behavior. If we don't know who you are, we won't inspire trust in our teams because they won't really know who we are either. And if we don't know who we are, we aren't going to be able to understand what makes us different, what makes us the unique individual that we are. And so we will be able to take those leadership learnings and tweak them to fit who we are. Okay, you've worked for people who were authentic and you worked for people who weren't. So we all know authentic leadership when we experience it. And being inauthentic really doesn't feel great, right? We know we're faking it, and that's inevitably going to feel awkward and uncertain and insecure. Never mind that it doesn't get the results for ourselves or for our teams that we want to have. So take some time to understand yourself, understand your values, lean into what makes you essentially you as a leader. And it does take some time. It's so worthwhile in terms of your success, in terms of your sense of meaning and purpose, and obviously in terms of your team success. If you'd like some help, there are resources on my website, and I'm always available to answer questions. Just leave a comment. Let me know if there were some aha moments in this video for you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and if you haven't already, of course, that is, and click the notifications bell so you'll know when I release a new video. Now, go forth, be the excellent, authentic leader that you're meant to be. Take care.